Men, and as usual, I use the term loosely. You know the problem. You're rebuilding an engine. One of the last things you go to do is to put the oil tubes into the rocker boxes. And typically you got them nasty old rusty Harley ones. So you go buy the set of new chrome plated ones. They're like 20 bucks, available at numerous places on the internet. You screw the fitting in the top, you screw the fitting in the bottom, and then you go to put the tube in. And what you find is that the tube is barely long enough to reach from the top to the bottom. If it moves as little as 3/16 of an inch, one end or the other will be nearly able to pop out of the fitting and cause it to leak. So here's how I've been fixing the problem of the too short oil tube. I get one of these little male to female or female to male fittings, put the coupling nut, the bottom coupler in there. It buys me an extra ½ inch of length to make up for how much the tube is too short. Anyway, let's move on. I'll show you what the fix is, or what the better fix is. The solution, also available at numerous places on the internet, is stainless steel 3/16 outside diameter tube. It's longer than it needs to be. You put it in there, cut it to your right length, and the tube will never fall off. Let's trim this one up and I'll show you exactly. Alright, let's mark it. Put it in the bottom fitting. Let it bottom in the bottom of the fitting. Come up here on the top one. And you want to get it so that it ends up in this area so that it can't fall out. But you won't be able to install it, you say. I have a solution for that. Let's mark it first. That ought to be good. Okay, I happen to have one of these little mini tube cutters. You could use a hacksaw, you could use a chisel and a hammer, I suppose. You could use your table saw, you could use a sawzall, but I use this. Just put it on there, give it a spin, tighten it a little bit, give it a spin. This is stainless steel tubing. It's a little tougher than the copper this thing is really meant for. And there it goes. Alright, we'll give it a little deburr. So here's the trick, if you want to call it a trick. Take your fitting and drill the center out to just a scotch over 3/16 of an inch. When you do that, your new 3/16 of an inch diameter stainless steel tube will be able to fit through the fitting, so that when you go to install the tube, you'll be able to slide it in through the fitting all the way and then pull it down into the bottom fitting, and it'll be locked in there, it'll be trapped, and it can never fall out. Okay, here is where the hole you drilled into the top fitting comes in handy. You can now take your tube, shove it all the way into the hole. It will go through the fitting and actually up into the rocker box. You can now pull it down and bend it a little bit if you need to. Well, you will need to get it to line up. And I could pull it into the bottom fitting and push it all the way down, and it will not come out of the top. You now have Well, you will now have a leak-proof connection, and the tube will never come out of the fittings because it's a little longer than it needs to be. Vibration will only drive it down until it bottoms on this bottom fitting, and it won't come out of the top fitting. That's what you want to have. These happen to be stainless steel. They won't rust, they won't corrode. Not quite as shiny as the chrome, but still pretty good. That's the fix. I am out of here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.